I definitely feel like it was the best thing that we chose for us.
Guys, Darcey has completely transformed her face over the last year. I mean, we are all used to Darcey constantly getting work done, but she's taken this way too far this time, and nowadays she looks completely unrecognizable, and you will never believe all the procedures that she had done. So when Darcey first appeared on 90 Day, a lot of us thought that she was actually really, attractive. But when you compare photos of Darcey from back then to photos of her now, you might struggle to even recognize that this is the same person, because recently in December, Darcey shared some behind the scenes footage from her latest photo shoot with her twin sister Stacey, and I'm sure that the sisters thought that they looked super glamorous in the video, but this wasn't what most people took from it. So most of the comments under the post were from people who seemed very concerned about Darcey's plastic surgery habits, and it became very clear that she'd had even more surgery done recently, and many agree that she didn't look anywhere near as pretty as she once used to. But it's not even about if you find her more attractive now than you did before. The issue that most people have nowadays is that Darcey looks nothing like she used to just a couple of years ago. I mean, her face looks completely unnatural, and this is because of the crazy number of surgeries that she's had, and more than that, it seems like at this point she just doesn't, know how or when to stop, and this is what a lot of people are worried about too, and it almost seems as if Darcey's addicted to getting work done, and every time she posts a new photo, people can't help but notice all the changes to her face, and it's seriously just getting out of hand. And it's even crazier to think about how all this started not too long ago, because Darcey first appeared on 90 Day about 6 years ago in 2017, but back then she looked pretty much unrecognizable. I mean, for one, her signature blonde hair was actually dark brown, and weirdly, a lot of people on social media seem to agree that she actually, that color suited her a lot better. But that's honestly far from the biggest issue when it comes to Darcey's insane transformation, because after her first season on the show with Jesse, Darcey decided to change her look up a little bit, and initially this seemed innocent enough. She and Stacey even coordinated everything, and they got similar plastic surgeries, so they still looked, pretty much like twins. But this soon spiraled really badly, and Darcey started wearing a different style of makeup, and she also decided to get even more surgeries, and both she and Stacey both got really obsessed with perfecting and changing their faces and bodies, and I think we can all agree that they just went a little too far with it, and the number of treatments that they've had is honestly just insane, and I'm pretty sure that we don't even know half of it, because Darcey dyed her hair in 2018, and this is when things really started to kind of spiral, and it almost feels as if the first small change really kicked off this whole trend of surgeries, because when Darcey came back on for season 3 before the 90 Days, she was dating Tom, and for some reason this was when she really decided to change things up for her appearance as much as possible, and she started talking about wanting to get different procedures even before she actually met Tom, and this was when she was paired up with Stacey to get some matching work done, and the sisters had cold laser therapy and filled under their eyes, and at this point this still seemed pretty minor and acceptable, and many people have these kinds of procedures nowadays, and so what Darcey and Stacey were doing didn't really seem, out of the ordinary at all. But I think we got the first red flag when we learned what Darcey's reaction to the procedure was, and she just said that she was extremely happy with the results, and then she added that she felt more like herself afterward, and this was really the start of her crazy surgery journey. And I feel like from then on, Darcey decided to chase this feeling of happiness and authenticity, and she hasn't stopped since. And in 2020, Darcey appeared on season 4 before the 90 Days with Tom, and this was when everyone really started noticing all of the changes, that she was doing to her face. And if you look at the footage from back then, Darcey looks much closer to what she looks like now than she did just a year before then. I mean, she clearly got some lip fillers because her lips seemed much fuller. She clearly got some lip fillers because her lips seemed much fuller. And although this was still nothing compared to some recent photos that Darcey shared on her social media, but honestly, when I see some of her current photos, I sometimes wonder if they are even real or if they're just, really photoshopped, because not that long ago, someone shared this one photo on Reddit where Darcey's lips just looked massive, and they were taking up way too much space on her face, and it looked extremely unnatural, and this was what I mean. It really feels like she has a problem when it comes to plastic surgery, and I'm not actually sure she realizes this, because in August of 2020, Darcey and Stacey debuted on TLC, and their own show was much more focused on their plastic surgery journey than 90 Day Fiance ever was. And then when season 2 aired in 2021, and this was when we got to learn about Darcey and Stacey's plan to go to Turkey to have a bunch of procedures done. And on, the one hand, I think it's pretty great that they were both so open about this. And often you'll really have reality TV stars and celebrities lying about plastic surgery, but this wasn't the case for Darcey and Stacey, and they talked about their plans really openly, which was kind of refreshing to see. But then again, with how much they were planning to have done, I don't think they could have even really tried to hide it, and no one would have believed them. I mean, Darcey and Stacey revealed that their plan was to go to Turkey to have pretty much their entire bodies lifted, and they wanted to get everything done from their lips to their nose to their waist. Everything got an upgrade, and Darcey said that the experience was pretty amazing for them, and she described it as a 5-star treatment, and apparently even compared to the clinics in Beverly Hills and Miami, and Turkey was completely different and a more luxurious experience. And it's been reported that Darcey and Stacey spent more than $20,000 per person on all those procedures, and that's obviously a lot of money. But one thing that Darcey said that struck me as even more concerning is Darcey claimed that after their visit to the Turkish clinic, they felt lighter, and I think this is, really is the reason why Darcey just can't stop, getting all these surgeries, because some people on Reddit theorized that maybe Darcey could have body dysmorphia, and this is when a person spends a lot of time worrying about their flaws and their appearance, and a person suffering from this often sees all their little flaws and issues with their body and face that other people can't even really see. And some people theorize that maybe Darcey suffers from this, and she turns to plastic surgery to help her, kind of relieve some of those unpleasant feelings. And if that's the case, which we obviously don't know, but it's likely that it might be near impossible for her to stop, especially if she doesn't see all these things as a problem. And a lot of people have been pointing out all this to her, but if she doesn't see what others see, then this might not have the impact we might think it would. And honestly, it's difficult to say what might happen next, but I wouldn't be surprised if Darcey got even more surgeries in the future. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you agree that Darcey looks nothing like she used to? And why do you think she keeps getting more and more procedures? Guys, let me know in the comments below.